Kim's secret plan was revealed in an episode about secret plans. We saw that Nacho has a secret plan, and we checked in on the secret plans for the lab with Mike and Gus. But like many episodes this season, the main focus was on Kim's plan. So let's talk about why Kim's decisions matter so much to Jimmy and how this theme of secret plans predicts trouble for Nacho, Kim, and Jimmy. Hey, I'm G, and this is the G-Spot. Jimmy is on a journey, but he doesn't know where he's going or who he wants to be. This makes it really difficult for Jimmy to make a solid plan for himself. We're going to come back to this bus scene. This is Jimmy without Kim. He's alone in an empty world, just waiting for the next opportunity to come by. It's hard for Jimmy to make decisions because he doesn't know where he wants to go. The closest we've seen him come to making a decision is him putting the idea of him and Kim sharing an office behind him. He's now looking for an office for just himself. But this wasn't so much a decision as it was Jimmy accepting that Kim just didn't want to share an office with him. Jimmy realizes that he's lost and alone without Kim in his life. And that is why we have seen him in the past 2 episodes pleading with her to accept him and his actions. And it's why in this episode we saw Jimmy following Kim around like a puppy. Jimmy getting an office on his own would be the first step in him building a life on his own without Kim. Jimmy getting this office is an important step in his development as a person. And we see that while he's getting this office, while he's looking at it, Kim knocks on the door and interrupts the process of Jimmy building his future. And it's important to note that at this time, Jimmy has no intentions of building a Saul Goodman future. He's still trying to build a future for Jimmy. And this is what Kim interrupts. Kim interrupts Jimmy's progress. And then we see Kim standing between Jimmy and his future. Kim is the catalyst that leads to Saul Goodman. And Jimmy is so desperate to avoid being alone in the world, he is willing to follow Kim wherever she goes, despite the consequences of Kim's plans. Kim's decisions matter so much to Jimmy because Kim's decisions are Jimmy's decisions. Mike and Gus know how to execute a secret plan. We know this because we know that their secret plan of building a lab ends up being successful. So we can use Mike and Gus to see if Jimmy and Kim's secret plan will be successful. And there's 2 things that Mike and Gus make sure they do with their secret plan. They make sure that there's a lot of open communication between the 2 of them. And they also make sure to keep their secret plan a secret. To keep their plan a secret, we see that Mike stops Werner from sharing the plan with people outside of the circle. We also see that Mike keeps a close eye on everybody that knows about the plan, and that Mike and Gus do everything they can to keep the people that know about the plan separate from everybody else so they don't have an opportunity to leak this plan out. The other thing we see Mike do to keep this secret a secret is he keeps it simple. Mike keeps it simple. When there's a problem with Kai at the strip club, Mike doesn't even give his name. He introduces himself as the guy that's going to solve your problem. And then he just pulls out a handful of cash. Mike doesn't want to give details. All he wants to do is make the problem go away. When Werner does start leaking the plan out, Mike immediately stops it. He sees this is a huge no-no. And he immediately tells Gus. And we know that Mike immediately tells Gus because as Mike is updating Gus on the progress of the secret lab, Gus already knows about what Werner did. Jimmy, on the other hand, shows a whole busload of people his plan. These are all people outside of the secret's circle. None of these people have anything to lose if the secret becomes exposed. And just like Mike said to Werner, they're going to remember a German national in the middle of Albuquerque. None of the people on this bus are going to forget about getting paid to write letters for a fake injustice campaign. They're going to remember Jimmy, and they may even talk about what they did without being questioned about it. Jimmy put their secret at an extremely high risk level during this bus ride. Mike and Gus are also sure to keep an eye on the people that know the secret, and we see that Jimmy leaves his film crew alone after the call to the church. Another group of people who know the secret and are now free to do whatever they want with it, to put it at risk because Jimmy is not keeping an eye on them. Jimmy even knows that he should be keeping things simple. He writes it on the board, even when they try to remind him to keep it simple. Jimmy just brushes them off, and he goes into an elaborate hero story about Huel. And this again is putting their secret in jeopardy because now Suzanne has a story to find lies in. Jimmy gave her a lot of details that she may be able to prove aren't true. So when it comes to keeping a secret, Jimmy failed at following the rules. We could also say that Kim pushes her luck too when she infers in front of the judge that Suzanne should know all about Huel's history. This causes Suzanne to go back to the office and demand that everybody find out what Kim is talking about. What did she miss in Huel's history that makes him so worth fighting for? The other thing that we see Mike and Gus do is they have very open communication. For starters, Mike knows what's on Gus's mind. We saw in last week's episode that Mike tells Werner Gus is more interested in solid work than meeting a time deadline. And in this episode, Gus confirms that it's good they're taking the extra time to make sure the work is solid. Mike knows what's on Gus's mind. We also see that Mike tells Gus all the details about everything that's happened, even all the setbacks. He's very open about everything that has occurred during this secret job. We also see that Gus listens to Mike. He listens to Mike tell him what problems exist, and then he asks Mike for his feedback, and he listens to that. To end it all, again, Gus makes sure Mike knows what's on his mind by saying this all sounds good. When it comes to Jimmy and Kim's communication, they do none of this. Jimmy never knows what's on Kim's mind throughout the majority of the episode. Maybe when they're lying in bed together, he can figure out what's on her mind. But besides that, he doesn't. He doesn't know what's on her mind in the beginning. He can't tell if she's through with him or not. That's what he tells Miss Nguyen. And at the end, when Kim shows up to the office, Jimmy is completely shocked. What are you doing here? Why are you here? He doesn't know what's on Kim's mind. As far as details of the plan's execution, Jimmy leaves a lot of details out. We do see Jimmy give Kim feedback. Jimmy offers his opinion that they really pushed their luck with what they did and that they should never do it again. But Kim doesn't listen to him at all. All Kim says is, I want to do it again. And we are again left at a point where Jimmy is blown away at what Kim said and has no idea what's on Kim's mind or where she's coming from. So we see that Jimmy and Kim made quite a few mistakes with executing a secret plan. But there may be even more mistakes because the writers kept some secrets to themselves. There are two scenes that we do not see. We don't see Jimmy actually mail the letters. Jimmy walks into a small town's post office with thousands of letters and mails them to one place. The postal worker must have had some questions about what Jimmy was doing. We also don't see the scene where Kim and Suzanne finally wrap things up. The details of these two secret events probably hold more trouble for Jimmy and Kim. Now, this theme of plans also showed us something about Suzanne. It showed us that Suzanne always follows a plan through. One way it did this is if every time Kim tries to argue against prosecuting Huel, Suzanne only has one answer. Your client's gonna be prosecuted and he's going to jail. That's all Suzanne sees through this entire thing. Even after Kim brings all the lawyers and all the paperwork and motions that she's filing into Suzanne, Suzanne sticks to a plan, and her plan is to prosecute Huel and send him to jail. But because of everything that Jimmy and Kim do in the episode, Suzanne comes up with another plan. Suzanne wants to get to the bottom of why so many people care about Huel. And we should expect that Suzanne is going to see this plan through and is going to figure out why Kim fought so hard for Huel. I have no doubt that Jimmy and Kim still have consequences to face for the way they helped Huel. Nacho has a secret plan, and he even kept it secret from us. But like Crazy 8 was supposed to know what was on Nacho's mind. He was supposed to know how to react to the dealer who didn't have enough money. We also were expected to know what was on Nacho's mind. They kind of did show us pretty clearly. Nacho is planning on getting away. But before Nacho can get away, he needs to build up a nest egg. So Nacho's using his new position as boss to build up this nest egg. But this is putting both him and his father in danger. And his goal is to keep him and his father safe. If you notice, he keeps both of their IDs in a safe, but he actually knocks them out when he's trying to put the money in. He's trying to keep him and his father safe, but his own actions are putting them in danger. Nacho's in danger because he's caught between two families. But there's now a big problem in Nacho's plan, and that problem is Lalo. Pretty sure I said it right. This is the actual closed captioning from the scene. Lalo gets the line in, "You're gonna die," to Nacho. Lalo is just such a bad sign for Nacho in so many ways. And what we saw in this episode is Lalo says, "I'm good with numbers and I'm here to keep an eye on things." Lalo's presence puts Nacho's secret plan in danger of being exposed. I hope you enjoyed the video. I wanted to take one quick minute today to say thank you for all the comments on my videos. It's always great to receive comments. Without comments, it feels like I'm talking to myself. And also comments that encourage me to keep going and make videos and tell me how much you enjoy my videos. They really do mean a lot. So thank you so much for all of those. And a special thanks to Carrie Major, who has really supported all of my Better Call Saul videos from the beginning of the season. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Please feel free to like and share if you enjoyed the video. If you want to be sure to see all of the videos I upload on Better Call Saul, go ahead, subscribe, ding the bell, and you will be alerted every time I upload a video. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.